and education is the first step for people to gain the knowledge, critical thinking, empowerment, and skills that they need to make their world better. National Education Day is an annual observance in India to commemorate the birth anniversary of Maulana Abul Kalam Azad Sir, who was the first education minister of independent India. National Education Day of India is celebrated on 11th November every year. Now, I request our principal sir, Dr. S.D. Sawant sir, to talk few words. Over to you, sir.
Yeah, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you, Darshana. And I hope the maximum number of students are attending. I have not checked how many are attending. At the beginning itself, like Darshana has said, that it is the National Education Day is now being celebrated on 11th of November uh, to commensurate with the birth anniversary of the first education minister, the then HRD minister, Maulana Abul Kalam Azad, one of the great visionary educator of those days. And this government has decided to celebrate the National Education Day every year. And in line with this, I hope I'm enough audible.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, sir.
So uh, in uh, in my 10 minutes of talk, I'm not going to much uh, talk at length, but I would like to highlight two things. One, the ancient Indian universities and the ancient education higher institutions of higher learning in India, and over a period of time, how this the today's national education policy 2020 has emerged, and how this NEP has got its roots into the ancient in Indian universities. I hope most of you, or at least some of you, are aware that we had great institutions of learning in the past, and there were seven mostly known great ancient Indian universities like Takshashila, Nalanda, Vallabhi, the Vikramshila, the Sompura, the Jagdala, and Udantapuri. So these universities, out of which we are mostly known about, I mean, we have heard of Nalanda and Takshashila and Vikramshil, whereas the rest of all other universities, we are not much aware of it. But point I'm trying to tell you is that these universities existed uh, around 2000 years back, 2007 years back. Like Takshashila was founded 2007 years, 2700 years back, and it was a multidisciplinary university. So there were more than 15, 18 different disciplines used to be there, like astronomy, the language, the astrology, the medicine, the Vedas, mathematics, arts, dance, culture, and whatnot, commerce, agriculture, like kind of disciplines we have today. Almost all those disciplines used to be existed at one place, and they were very large multidisciplinary universities, and the scholars across the world from different lands used to be there. Like Takshashila had great, uh, I mean, the scholars who taught and who learned at it, like Charaka, who wrote the Charak Samhita. Now this is related to farm, I mean, medicine. So I'm saying, so Charaka wrote the Charak Samhita from at Takshashila, like Chanakya, Panini. So many great scholars were from this university, And the today's concept of Meru in the sense multidisciplinary research in universities. The kind of Merus have been thought of to be established from the public funding has its roots to these ancient universities like Takshashila and Nalanda. In the sense, what point I'm trying to tell you, that this NEP talks about multidisciplinary approach and transdisciplinary research. So a lot of emphasis on NEP is being given on this aspect. Now, what does it mean? It means that NEP says in that there would be no single disciplinary universities. If university has to be existed, it has to have multi-disciplines. Means at one university you should have engineering, pharmacy, medicine, commerce, arts, science, and so many other subjects. So where, you know, the purpose of education is to solve the problems of common people and all the, I mean, not why only common, but give the innovative solutions, happy, and there are more and more innovation comes from very cost effective education, and this education make people wise, not only wise, but there is equality. There is like Panchasutra of kind of things actually needs to be of time, and that should be the purpose of education. The point I'm trying to tell you again is that this NEP is, I mean, by 2040, the current affiliated college kind of a concept will vanish, and by 2040, all institutes of higher learning like colleges and universities would be of only there would be only two kinds of the institutions. One is going to be a degree awarding autonomous institutions or degree awarding autonomous colleges, and second would be the universities. And there are two parts they have have tried to make. One is the research intensive universities and another is teaching intensive universities. So after 2040, I mean, this is particularly because we all teachers will see the kind of conversion, the transformation that would happen over a period of time. The young faculty will witness the era of either autonomous colleges or as the universities only. So what does it mean? It means that we have to take the responsibility of what we are teaching. If our teaching, if our institutions, if our education being imparted in the colleges is really great, then students are going to take admission. Okay, and the students are going to get the jobs if they really learn out of such institutions, which makes them or empower them to get the jobs. So henceforth, it is going to be very, very competitive. The education is going to be very competitive. Every institute and their teachers and their managements will have to take the responsibility of the quality education. And if there is no quality education, certainly such institutions will be seized over a period of time. So this is actually going to bring a big change in India over a period of next 15 to 20 years. And that is why the accreditations and then rankings are going to play a very, very important role. Now, how this is going to be beneficial to the students, probably this could be a question from the students. But today's students and those who would like to be teachers in years to come, they will have to prepare themselves accordingly. In last 4 or 5 years, the kind of graduates and postgraduates which are passing out, we are I mean, our observation is that the large portion of it, I'm not saying all, but maybe 30–40% of the students which are graduating, really they are missing some of the their basic understanding of the subject, the fundamental understanding of the subject. And that is why we are little more worried, particularly those who would like to join the teaching education as academy as their career. For them, I think they need to be very, very competitive, and this NEP is, giving more emphasis on this. Another point, this NEP says that currently gross enrollment ratio is around 27%, and by 2030, I mean 2035 precisely, it is expected to be increased to 50%. What does it mean? If a 50% is gross enrollment ratio is to be increased, means there would be more and more universities and more autonomous degree awarding colleges would be required. And therefore, this academia will have more and more job opportunities in education industry, and there one has to be very, very competitive. So this was one. Second, the kind of changes in NEP are being thought of is to have multiple options of exit and taking entry. Like women, girls would like to, uh, because of career, because of getting married, and then need some break for their children's. They can exit the course and they can again come back to the course, and there would be, like we have the banking system, there would be credit banks are being created, and you can earn the credits, you can keep those credits in your bank, academic credit bank, and you can move out, and after 2–3 years, 4 years, you can come back, join the course again, and earn the credits, and then finally you can have the balance of academic credits in your academic credit bank. So these kind of things are in the offing, and like if you complete 1 year course, you will get a certificate course. If you are completing the 2 years course, then it can be a diploma course, it can be 3 years a degree course, or if it is 4 years, then the degree can be with the course with the research. And so such kind of integrated undergraduate programs, integrated postgraduate programs, and integrated multiple exit programs are being offered, and which are going to be there in a few years to come. Like we have pharmacy council, then there are medical council, architecture council, nursing council, dental councils. These councils, except medical and law, I think the rest of all councils will continue, but their job would be only to set the professional standards to their respective professions, like pharmacy profession, nursing profession, architecture, and so on, and dental. However, there would be only uh, 4 different councils. The one council will regulate, another council will accredit it, another council will give the grants, and another general council will set the academic standards. Now, this is more pertinent, I mean, more relevant information, particularly to the teachers, because henceforth, the National Research Foundation, which is going to be established, will coordinate between the funding agencies and the researchers, and will create certain common platforms, where the researchers will find the better grant giving organizations, agencies, and the grant giving organizations or the grant council, like National Higher Education Grants Council, in association with the National Research Foundation, probably will find the best of the best researchers available and fund them. And then the entire major focus would be of the transdisciplinary research, with the transdisciplinary approach and multidisciplinary approach and transdisciplinary research, particularly for the bigger projects, which involves the major impact on the nation building and social, yeah, I mean the social lives or the lives on the lives of the people. So the point I'm trying to tell you is that teachers needs to think more seriously on preparing themselves for the grants, because there would be more better researchers will be competing to each other on certain areas, and there is likely to be more accountability to these researchers. And we need to also think not only the research projects of only pharmacy, but how these research projects, the outcomes of these research projects will have the greater social impact in improving the quality of life of people, and providing the better solutions through the pharmacy or through the medical devices, or the innovative solutions that we are going to relieve the pain of people, uh, get the relief from the diseases and disorders. So this NEP talks a lot about it, particularly with respect to supporting the teachers, empowering the teachers, motivating them, and making them better capable to undertake the research. And therefore, it is envisaged that there would be no excessive teaching duties. There would be limited teacher and student ratios, and there would be more time made available to the teachers so that they can interact with their research scholars, their postgraduate students, can have research discussions at length, and so that they can have a better outcome of their research projects. And even it includes generally the transfers to be avoided, like, which is not a case particularly with our institutions like us, but the institutions where central universities, different universities are there at different places, where the and the uh, uh, central governments or state governments, autonomous institutions of research and teaching, where transfers normally happens. So thus to be avoided, rewards, promotions, recognitions, uh, and creating the industrial, the institutional leaders uh, is been thought of. Let's see how it takes the shape in years to come. There are a lot many good things are being talked about in this NEP, but finally it's the government's willpower, of course, of state government and central governments, and the kind of funds that are going to be made available to the institutions that will actually decide the real implementation of the NEP. Uh, what finally I would like to make a point is that uh, because education is, or the knowledge is enormous, and daily the researchers, the teachers are creating a lot of knowledge on day-to-day basis. And now the Google platform is flooded with lots of information, lot of knowledge. However, what is important is that how best how we make the best use of it, and how best teachers help them uh, in shaping their career. That is more important, because any learning institute of learning, like say our college, is going to be recognized finally how best of the best students that we are created, how the what best researchers that we are creating. Uh, that will actually decide the name and fame to this to the institutions. So we know that those great universities, ancient universities, where this Chandragupta Maurya, the Jivaka, Chanakya, Charaka, and Panini. Those, scholars were produced, world-class scholars were produced by these universities. Similarly, our institutions also need to produce the world-class students, and then our name of the institute is also going to be associated only because of those students. And therefore, I feel our all students should start think of making their fundamentals very strong. Ask a number of questions to your teachers. Basically, you need to attend uh, the classes, and then only you are going to know what our teachers are going to talk. Take a number of leads from their talk. Find out a number of means and ways how you can do the things in a simplest way, and that is the way that you can have better innovations in years to come. So thinking something differently, thinking globally, acting locally can produce best results. And I'm sure our teachers will contribute uh, uh, in a bigger way. And that would be the real celebration of any education day, the National Education Day. So offering the tribute to the great educator Maulana Abul Kalam Azad, I wish all the teachers and the students a happy National Education Day, and let this knowledge and the wisdom uh, 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 that we all work towards gaining the wisdom, because wisdom is cannot be borrowed, cannot be purchased. It has to be we have to uh, uh, have the wisdom over a period of time, and that helps the humanity and helps each other at different points of time in the life. So with these, thank you, Abhankar madam and Preeti madam and all those coordinators who have arranged this program. I also wish these two competitions, e-poster competition and the slogan competition, most of the, more and more students participate into it, and they do better uh, in these competitions. And our purpose, our objective of celebrating this National Education Day is served. With these words, thank you so much. I think I have taken a little more time. Thank you so much. But
Thank you
over
so
to
much.
Darshana.
Thank you so much, sir, for your valuable
Thank
and
you, sir.
informative talk. On the occasion of
Thank you,
National
sir.
Education Day, and as a part of this celebration, our college has organized various competitions like e-poster competition and slogan competition. In this year, Recover and Revitalize Education for the COVID-19 Generation is the theme of International Education Day 2021. On this occasion, our college has organized two competitions. Now, I am going to read the rules for the competition. First competition is the e-poster competition, which have rules as the poster should be self-explanatory. Use of tables, images, smart art is preferable. Format acceptable are PowerPoint or hand-drawn poster on the plain white sheet. Submit your scanned PDF to the given mail IDs in the flyer. The second competition is slogan competition. The rules are slogan should be catchy. Slogan should be short and precise. It should be originally written by you and or else that entry will be disqualified. Post your slogans on the coordinators on the WhatsApp numbers. The coordinators for these competitions are Mrs. Mukta Abhankar ma'am and Miss Nikita Bagade ma'am. The numbers to submit these slogans are given in the flyer. The note is that the interested candidate should submit their entries to me, that is Darshana Morankar, by Thursday evening. The number is also given in the flyer. Submit your e-posters and slogan by Sunday, that is 14th November 2021. It's a request to all students to participate enthusiastically in the two competitions. It's a great saying that education is for improving the lives of others and for leaving your community and world better than you found it. At the end of this program, I deem it a great honor to propose the vote of thanks. Firstly, I would like to thank Honorable Professor M.N. Navle Sir, Founder President STES, Dr. Mrs. Sunanda Navle Ma'am, Founder Secretary STES, Mr. Rohit Navle Sir, Vice President STES, Mrs. Rachana Navle Ashtekar Ma'am, Vice President Admin, Professor S.N. Navle Sir, Vice President STES. Heartfelt gratitude to Dr. S.G. Sawant Sir, Principal of SKNCOP, for his guidance and continuous encouragement to carry out such a great activities. I would like to thank all the teaching and non-teaching staff for being a part of today's program. Special thanks to our faculty coordinators, Dr. Mrs. Vandana Nikam ma'am, Dr. Mrs. Neha Munot ma'am, Mrs. Mukta Abhyankar ma'am, Mrs. Preeti Lasure ma'am, and Nikita Bagade ma'am. Now, I request all of you to switch on your camera for the group photos.
Wait for a moment.
Ma'am, I have taken the photograph. Thank you all for being the part of this event. Here I conclude the program. Thank you.